questions, if it's okay. All right. So if you want to unmute your microphones, I'm more than happy to do it for you, or I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you have about the program.
Okay, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So my understanding is that for the certificate, students take all the courses you mentioned and you showed, but can students also take only 1 or 2 courses and just get credits for those?
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. It's interesting, the visual immersion course in the summer just attracts certain teachers, and a lot of the teachers who took the virtual immersion course, they want to repeat it and they loved it, but they're not necessarily interested in the other Live 8 courses. So yes, it's really designed to be a really flexible program.
Okay. And what's the name of the platform you're using? I missed that.
So it's D2L.
D2L.
Mm-hmm. Desire to Learn, it's the Blackboard company.
Okay.
It's okay. It's fine. Any other questions?
Yeah, I got one. It's Heidi.
Mm-hmm.
How do I enroll into the program? What's the process?
So it's fairly simple. I'm going to go to the Elevate website. Because it's a certificate, there is no real, admission process. The minimum requirement is that you have a BA or equivalent if you're an international student. And that's because, if you don't teach a language, the program is just not going to be very interesting or relevant for you. So it's, enrollment is really self-selective. So when you're on this page, you have the more info or register. So here, this will take you to a page, and it's the continuing ed page. And I made sure that it opens in a new window because you will need both windows. And so if you're a new student, you start here basically. And what's going to happen here is that open enrollment, I think it's the online enrollment application. And so you're going to have to provide some information. On the Elevate website, on the registration page, I'll tell you what to answer for each question. Step 1, where to go, make sure you make those selections. And then when you're done with that, basically you will be enrolled as a CU Boulder student. You will receive a CU Boulder email and what they call an identity key. And once you have your identity key, you can go and activate your account, and then you can go and register for courses. There is a number here at the bottom of the page. If you have any problems, just call Continuing Ed and they'll help you enroll in the course. Just make sure that you have this number here, LGTC 5030, to find it in the system. So, but that's basically all there is to it. I think on the website, I ask Elevate, or I used to ask students to just shoot me an email when you have registered so that I can contact you and introduce myself. But I look at the registration page almost daily, and so it doesn't matter if you don't email me, I will email you.
Hi, this is Debbie speaking. You mentioned that there might be a couple of items that students have to purchase in addition to paying the registration fee.
Yes.
What do those costs usually run?
So I provide all the readings. So you don't have to buy any books because, our readings on articles. And so for LGDC 5030, it will be a pair of Google Cardboard glasses. They cost about $14.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're really cheap. I'm going to show.
That's bad. Yeah.
No, it really is not. And it's, these are cardboard glasses. I can tell you that the trickiest part of using these glasses is actually assembling them. Seriously, I was at the ACTFL conference when, I took them with me. I received them that day. But basically, I don't have my phone here, but these are the Google glasses. You put your phone in here, and then you can access different apps and experience virtual reality. But that's it. In terms of course material, that's it.
What about access to some of the different software or apps or programs. Are there costs involved with that, like VoiceThread or
No.
some of the others?
So VoiceThread, as you know, is not free, but VoiceThread donated for the second year in a row a site license to all Elevate students. So if you decide to enroll in the course, you will have a single educator teacher license. So that will be at no cost. Basically, it's built into the course, but at some point, if you know, I can't remember at what point we look at VoiceThread. I think it's during the unit on digital storytelling. But now there's a new program that's free for digital storytelling. But you know, there are so many applications, there are so many tools out there that are free. I really focus on those. I very rarely recommend that we purchase software just because things come and go. So no, we are not purchasing anything.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Sure.
Another question, this is Gina. The cost, is everything due upfront, or are there any options for the payment of?
Alors, I'm sorry. It's French.
Okay. No.
I do that a lot when I'm tired. Just little French words come in.
It's it.
You know, I can put you in contact with the person in charge of processing the registrations. I know that depending on when you register, you have sometime up to a month to pay. And I think there is a payment plan. But you would have to let me know that you want to use a payment plan, and then I would, would put you in contact with the registrar. But I know that there is something like that.
Perfect, thank you.
Any more questions? All right. So we have 2 Elevate students here. And so I would just, if you want, we have Trent and we have Amy, who very kindly volunteered to be a part of this webinar. So if you have any questions, ask them any questions that you have. I know it's a little awkward because I'm here, and, Trent and Amy, if you say anything bad, you know what's happening, right? So, but if you want to ask them any questions from the student perspective, please go ahead. And, if not, I don't know, Amy or Trent, if you want to say anything.
I guess I'll just say, when you're talking about time management, I know for me, my last semester was my first semester. And so I started off and I was teaching 3 undergraduate courses while also doing online course development for my institution and also taking Elevate. So I had a million things on my plate at the same time. And so that first week or 2 was incredibly stressful. But I think part of it was because I put too much of a burden on myself on what I needed to do, if that makes sense. And so I think once I got into the rhythm of the course and realized, okay, I don't have to kill myself every week. I don't have to produce a giant amount of content. I just have to answer the question, participate. It was a lot more, I guess, casual than I initially thought, kind of thinking returning to graduate level courses. So don't be scared, like she said, about the numbers. Those are incredibly generous. Coming from already completing graduate school, going back in and then reading some of this, is that where it says, 4 to 6 hours, I was doing it maybe an hour or 2. And I spent the most time formulating my answers for discussion posts. And so once I realized, I don't have to write, a book every time. I don't have to, write these incredibly detailed posts, that it can be a little bit more chill. And especially when we had the in-person, the synchronous discussions, I was making a lot more work for myself than was necessary. So again, like she said, don't worry too much about the requirements. Once you get that first week or 2 under your belt and kind of get a feel for how the class is going, it's a lot easier after that.
The first 2 weeks are always a little intimidating. You have to introduce yourself. You're wondering what the general tone is going to be. But it's after that you get into a routine.
I had originally intended, I took 50/30 last January through March, and I was intending just to take that course, and I enjoyed it so much that I said, well, I want to do the whole program, this is great. And so I decided I want to do the whole certificate, and I agree 100% with what Trent said, because the first couple weeks can be intimidating, but one thing that I've really enjoyed was building the relationship with classmates and getting to know people and language professionals from other parts of the country and even other parts of the world. And so that's been very neat to kind of get out of my own little bubble of my school district and see what other people are doing, you know, nationwide and worldwide. And everybody is really, really supportive of each other. You would think like, okay, how do you build community with an online class? But just everybody's so passionate about teaching language and about learning that we just built this community, and it's really very, very supportive. That's one of the things I've appreciated the most. I've just felt that people support me and I can take risks in the class, you know, put an idea out there that may be strange and people will discuss it, but in a positive way. And so those are just a few things that I really, really like about the program. So I went from, yeah, I'm just taking one class to, whoa, I'm going to do the whole thing because I enjoy it so much.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a great group.
Yeah, really, really great.
All right, enough patting on the back. Anybody has any more questions? Is everybody ready to get started with our Friday, the week before Christmas? Right? You okay, Trent? Yes, I feel the same. All right. Well, I'm going to stop the recording. I can't believe that I forgot to record it, but at the same time, I can absolutely believe it. So I will re-record it because we had a lot of people requesting a copy of the recording. So yeah, just last chance for questions. Going once.
Oh, I think this is Jean again. I was just wondering if any of the students have had a chance to use any new tools that they've learned or any new ideas in their daily teaching.
That's for you guys.
Yeah.
Amy or Trent?
There we go. Oh, definitely. The tool that I'm most excited about is VoiceThread. I love VoiceThread. I think that is phenomenal. And the students really get a kick out of using it. I teach high school. And so I have my students do lots of different things with VoiceThread. And in fact, I'm trying to get it into my district as well, so that all the world language teachers can use it. And there are a lot of things that I've gone back to, but VoiceThread is the one tool that really pops out that that really wowed me.
And because we have that site license, I've pushed for it. 50/30, we will probably look at Adobe Sparks because that's a new program for digital storytelling that is easy to use. If you want to jump into that unit, Amy, I can try to put you into the unit. For virtual reality, we'll look at virtual reality app. We'll try to do an exercise where students wear those Google Cardboard glasses and give each other directions, turn left, turn right, or explain to each other where is what. For the flip learning, we'll definitely talk about screencasting. And so I'm structuring the course a little bit differently, and every week there'll be a technology that you will have the option to explore. The unit on gaming and gamification, well, it's one unit, but we have an entire course. But for that one unit, you'll have the option to explore tools like Quizlet Live or Kahoot. And so, with regards to technology, it's interesting because sometimes you have programs like VoiceThread that can do a lot. And sometimes you have just tiny little programs like Kahoot or like a screencasting program that you can use to create a flip lesson. They can't do much. Basically, screencasting is screencasting. It records you, giving a presentation or doing an explanation. But it's still a very interesting tool.
I guess for me, there was no single technology that stood out, but I was just really impressed by the breadth of tools that we got exposed to, either explicitly through what the lesson was supposed to cover that week, or just from the discussions what everyone brought up and mentioned, oh, I use this, or I've tried this. And so at the end of last semester, I actually did a Pokemon Go based activity with my students. And so it had them, when they found the little Pokestops that were hidden around campus, they would have to scan a QR code. It would bring up a different digital activity. So I had each different activity. I think I had 12 different ones, used a different digital tool and had them doing different things. So it was a little way of incorporating some of the stuff that I'd seen without having to make a huge lesson plan, across multiple weeks, trying to find out ways to incorporate it. Students would just do a one-time 5 or 10 minute activity, and then it was optional for them to do. So that let me get some feedback on specific tools and also experiment in a way that didn't, collapse the whole class if it didn't go right, kind of a thing. So I really appreciated just being able to see things that I wouldn't have otherwise discovered for myself, but then that opened, maybe I didn't want to use that specific tool, but it was a different avenue to kind of spark my own exploration that I can then bring back ideas to the discussion of things that I've found.
I haven't had a chance to look at your Pokemon Go activity in details, but I just re-added it to my list. I definitely want to look at it because that's going to be very interesting for the gaming class this summer.
I have more information that I'm working on, so I'll hopefully get that done over break and I can send that to you too.
Right. Well, I'll say one more word unless you guys need to go. I know we went over. I'm one of the editors of a magazine called the Language and Technology Magazine, the FLT Mag, fltmag.com. It is a nonprofit organization that I run with some colleagues. And I do try whenever I can I try to push students to write for the FLT Mag. So that's an additional experience that you can get. I know that Trent published a very cool article on using social media and ACTFL standards in the November issue. And, Amy, I haven't gotten to get you to write something, but that's coming for you. It's coming. It's also, I think it's an interesting professional experience to go through the process and, get published, just talking about the things that you do. So just a little thing on the side. It's called the FLT Mag, all caps, fltmag.com. So, yeah. All right. It's weekend. This is it. I'll thank you so much, Trent and Amy, and thank you. I see Peggy, I see Heidi, Gina, Jennifer, and Debbie. Thank you, everybody, for coming today, and I really hope you decide to take a course with us.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Very interesting.
Thank you,
Thank
Debbie.
you.
Thank you. Bye. I'm going to end the meeting now, and
Have a
email
good
me if you have any
weekend.
questions.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.